Hi folks, I wanted to take a moment to welcome you to the course and to introduce myself. My name is Kylie or Professor Anderson. I usually go by Kylie, but you can call me by either of those. And I look forward to putting a face to a name for everyone soon. I do ask for progress photos and some progress selfies throughout the semester. So please include your face if at all possible so that I can put a face to a name. Some people are super uncomfortable with that and they'll include a hand or forearm instead. That's also fine, but I do love to be able to recognize you if I were able to see you in person. Okay, so I just want to talk a bit about my teaching philosophy and an overview of the course and what to do if you run into challenges to best complete the course. First thing is, I just want you to consider if this is a good time for you to be taking the class. Please plan to complete 4 to 8 hours of work per week in order to pass or excel in this class. If your goal is to pass, generally you can spend less time. If your goal is to get an A, you'll want to plan to spend more time on the class. I think for a lot of us, definitely myself included, we'll often think we have more time in a day than what we actually have and just try to fit too much in. So it's good to just take a moment to introspect if this is a time where you have the space to complete 4 to 8 hours per week to excel in the class or to pass the class, and just consider what else you might have on your plate. I know many of my students have jobs, multiple jobs, families, and just very complicated, busy lives that sometimes prevent them from passing a class, not because they're not able to, just because they have entirely too much going on. So please consider that. And just remember, slow and steady wins the race in terms of academics and just overall life quality, I think. So you can always come back and take the class later on if you conclude now is not the best time. Moving on from there, if there are adverse events that come up for you, unexpected events that are challenging you or preventing you from completing work during the class, there are a few things you can do. One, you can email me with documentation. 99% of the time, if you provide documentation, I will give you an extension. Documentation can be anything from documentation of a doctor's visit, an illness, an obituary, documentation of car trouble. On a lighter note, documentation of a religious holiday. All of those would be examples that you can send my way if you are wanting an extension. It's also very helpful if you let me know what sort of extension you think would work best for you so that I have a sense of what you are needing. Also, if you have adverse circumstances that come up that you do not have documentation for, you can always provide documentation later on down the line once you do have a chance to see a doctor or counselor, for example, or you can just explain the situation to me, whatever details you're comfortable sharing, and we could do that via Zoom or over email, and then from there we'll collaborate to come up with a plan for you. And that might involve an extension or it might involve some other plan that we come up with. Okay, so hopefully no adverse circumstances arise for you during the class. I'm wishing that everything will go smoothly for everyone over the course of this semester. One thing that can really help things to go smoothly is to take a lot of progress photos and progress selfies as you go along, and to please turn those in when I request them as you're turning in progress photos of your work. So pretty much every week I'll ask for a progress photo, and I will often ask for a photo of you with your drawings and also you with your still life that you are drawing from, or on site if you're, say, drawing a scene from your house or a scene through a window or even a scene outdoors if you choose. The reason for that is that for traditional training in drawing, of course, going all the way back before cameras even existed, the purpose of drawing is to take the 3D world and translate it into 2 dimensions. So if you're always drawing from a photograph, you won't learn to do that. So for purposes of this class, I ask you to draw 95% from direct observation of the world around you. Photographs should only be used as an occasional reference. and I ask you to demonstrate to me that you're actually on site by sending in those selfies of the still life or whatever you are actually drawing. So just make sure that the subject matter you choose is something you can access. Most of the projects allow you to set up still lives just using objects from around the house. At some times you'll have options to do like architectural scenes of the inside or outside of your house, and options to draw outside, although drawing outside isn't required for any of the projects. So do just keep that in mind, and please do choose locations where you can access them regularly to draw from direct observation, and where you can send proof of direct observation. There are a few projects that allow use of photos. Those are smaller projects, just warm-up assignments, and I will specify that in the directions if that isn't the case. Otherwise, just assume you will need to show or prove direct observation. The other reason I asked for selfies and proof of direct observation and progress photos in general is to make sure the work is your own, to make sure that it's done manually rather than with digital drawing tools. This class is a traditional drawing class rather than a digital drawing class, and to make sure that the work is completed during the semester of the class, so that the work is specifically for this class. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense, and that's just a very easy way to get full credit for everything and to help me make the way I'm grading everyone fair, but it is easy to forget to do. So just have that in the back of your head to take progress photos and to take selfies and photos of your workstation, photos of you on site. A few other things to note. One, if you notice any mistakes in the course, whether that be something that looks off of your grade, or a mistake with a due date, please email me. I never get any of these courses 100% mistake free, so if you notice mistakes, please don't stress, please just let me know, and I can pretty easily fix those once I'm aware of them. And then last but not least, as you are responding to the projects, designing your own projects, please consider what you might be interested in depicting. So this can involve setting up still lives with objects you collect, objects that interest you, or objects that represent something meaningful about your life, or just objects you find aesthetically pleasing in some way. So start to think about what you just have lying around that you might be interested in drawing, and that can really make the projects more interesting, I would say. And some people do have the time to go off-site and do drawings of architectural things around Oklahoma City or go to nature parks and that sort of thing. And that is definitely not required, but if you are able to do that, those are wonderful options for some of the projects. Okay, so best of luck with your semester, and best of luck with this first week of the course.